addition to people buying personal computers, apparently, not surprisingly, they were buying a lot of face masks during last quarter. What's maybe surprising is where they were getting them from. We talked about the big boom at Etsy, for example, in face masks, but Gap reported its earnings. Turns out it sold $130 million worth of face masks during the quarter. Its total sales were down 18%, but online sales pretty much doubled. So interesting phenomenon here as we had them becoming one of the major suppliers of masks. Who wants to weigh in first on this Gap situation? I see Dan smiling here, so I'm going to go to you first, Dan.
Well, it's just interesting, right? We know that the Gap has been, in some ways, people thought left for dead. I'm sure our colleague Brian Sazzi has some thoughts here, but in many ways, I think a lot of retailers have surprised during the pandemic, right? By the way, still losing on EPS, but a lot of these retailers that I've been covering this closely, it's huge online sales surges we're seeing, and that shouldn't be surprising. But I also think people are short-sighted to just chalk that up to the pandemic. I think this is clearly the new normal. I mean, the numbers for the percentage online sales surges that we've seen from Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Urban Outfitters, Dick's, Best Buy up like 240% online sales in Q2. It's very clear where everything is headed. And so if retailers like the Gap can figure that out, good, maybe they can survive.
Yeah, I just want to check out the market action. We have a heat map on the Wi-Fi Interactive of apparel going back 5 days, and tailored brands mired in bankruptcy. Not surprising they're outperforming perhaps, but Urban Outfitters up 25%, Gap up 20%, Abercrombie and Fitch, that's up 20%, and 16%. That's all in the last 5 days. And then you take a look over the last 5 months, and we see a lot of standout. Even L Brands is up 135%. But of course, a lot of these stocks were those that had gotten beaten down the most. And so you check out year to date, a number are still underwater here. In fact, the only three outperforming for the year, Nike, Lululemon, that's up 63%, and then L Brands up 64%.
And I want to bring in Brian Sazzi on this as well, anchor on the first trade, because there's sort of a common theme with a lot of these. First of all, they're casual, right? And as we know, a lot of people who are at home are not dressing up while they're at home, or at least not that much, us notwithstanding. And a lot of them also are aimed at younger consumers, although the Gap, you would say, is not necessarily in that category. Then you have Lord & Taylor, which it says now is liquidating, couldn't find a buyer. Lord & Taylor probably skews a little older and probably a little more formal. What do you make of all this?
Well, there's definitely, Julia, a rush to casualize a lot of specialty retailers. I talked a good bit about this with Abercrombie CEO Fran Horowitz yesterday. You'll see a lot more casual trends from them heading into the fall. But I do want to debunk this notion that suddenly Gap is this magical growth retailer. Wall Street has been all over the stock ever since Kanye signed on. It's absolutely absurd. Sales fell. The bottom dropped out of sales for Gap and Banana Republic in the most recent quarter. Old Navy wasn't that hot. Essentially, Wall Street is bullish on this company because they might sell Athleta. That'd be great. But this is still a zombie retailer in the mall. When was the last time Dan Roberts went to Gap? I would imagine maybe, 20 years ago?
Exactly right. Although I am an apologist for J. Crew. I still think J. Crew is nice, although I know J. Crew is also likely dead. But that's fair about the Gap. I don't think they've really updated the brand in ages.
I'm the one. I'm the one who keeps going.
No, you're not. Come on, Julie.
I like their kid stuff, and I do like their basics, I have to say. And Gap Fit ain't bad either, and Athleta. Okay.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.